Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Friday, the 31st of March, comes to you from Lisbon in Portugal, and I'm here seeing some clients today. So, first of all, we start with currencies, then we look at stock markets and commodities, and last of all, some US tech stocks. So, we start with the dollar index. The climb continues. We've held on to this 100 level, and dollar making quite a strong recovery here. We haven't locked out on this column yet, but we will get an upside target once it does lock out. At the moment, we've got 3% upside on the dollar just on this target alone. Of course, it needs to pull back and activate before we can actually say that. And we are still in a downtrend on this short-term point and figure chart. Remembering this is my long-term, my medium-term, and my short-term. Taking a look at the euro, we're seeing that bearishness coming in back below 107 now, and falling back very strongly in the cloud. So this recovery looking short-lived at the moment, but we did make a higher high than February's level. So for the moment, it's too early to say. We need to fall through this 105 level, which was where we found support before we could say that the euro was entering a new period of weakness. The longer-term chart's still looking pretty bearish. Taking a look at the Japanese yen, we're seeing the dollar strength there, and on sterling, we're seeing it as well, just below the cloud here at the 124.50 level. So we do have this downside target to 120, but we've got to fall really through 124. 124 probably to activate that, so just keep an eye out on that. Looking at the euro sterling chart, we see that sterling has had the upper hand here. Sterling stronger than the euro. And the Swiss, much the same story. On the Australian dollar, though, sterling is looking very similar to the US dollar chart, falling away into that low 160s level. And if we fall through the 162 level, we activate this downside target to 155.40. So significant downside there. Looking at the US stock market, did recover yesterday, just getting through the cloud here, so we're just returning to bullish. It was always looking like this was a short sell-off was fairly short-lived. Nasdaq moving to new highs again. A very big sort of engulfing week here we see on the candle here, so we're ending up higher. A strong close today would really seal it. Not through yet on the Dow, and if we look at the Russell 2000, strong recovery through the cloud, but yet to make new highs. Tech is leading the way, basically. Looking at the futures markets, we are seeing the Nasdaq just down slightly, so we may see US markets opening down a little bit. FTSE that yesterday closed not much different, but is just coming out of the cloud, and we do have these upside targets as well. And the FTSE 250, we're seeing that we are through, so good news there. The DAX, we're above the cloud on all three time frames, so that's looking pretty bullish. We've got 2 and 2.7% upside on the short-term targets there. Nikkei fell quite heavily, which is surprising on a strong dollar, but we are just really in this range at the moment. We see that in the weekly chart, just a really big consolidation pattern. Really sticking there, but anywhere between 18.8 and 19.8, there's about 1,000-point range there that we're just really struggling to break out of. The Hang Seng we're seeing just coming back below the cloud, so on the short-term chart, and activated a downside target of 2%, although we have this medium-term upside of 24%. But at the moment, it's just selling off a little bit. And Shanghai came through the day before, actually, so we're just seeing short-term weakness in those markets that held up. And the Sensex in India holding up on all three time frames, never really got bearish, so it's bullish, bullish, bullish. The Australian market really rocketed the day before yesterday, so we saw a little bit of a pullback there, sell-off, but looking very, very strong, the Australian market. Crude oil back to the 52.60 level, so that's just pulling back a bit, and we're seeing here on the WTI chart, the recovery is there in crude, but the fact that we've had this sell-off, unless we got back to above 55 on WTI, be hard to see it being sustained. US nat gas looking still pretty good. Copper is bullish as well. Gold has pulled back a little bit yesterday, back into bearish territory on the short-term chart. So, and we've unwound that upside breakout target that we saw there. So that is a little bit bearish for the gold price. US government bonds were at 2.41% was where we headed yesterday. So we're still bullish above the cloud there on all three time frames. Last of all, look at some tech. Apple still strong. Uh, Google not through the cloud entirely yet. Amazon just really powering away. Good short-term upside targets here. Facebook looking strong as well, broken that 142 level, and Microsoft has broken out a bit as well. Nvidia, the recovery continues here as well. So looking really good for the weekend. Looking for a strong close for the week for the US market. That's it for today. Until the weekend, until Monday, have a great weekend. Happy charting. See you then.